In this video, we're going to give you the overview and recap of the book of Leviticus from the Bible and how it applies to your life. Let's begin. The book of Leviticus primarily consists of laws and instructions given to the Israelites by God through Moses. It begins with detailed guidelines on how the Israelites are to offer sacrifices to God for atonement and worship. These sacrifices, such as burnt offerings, grain offerings, and sin offerings, symbolize the need for reconciliation between the people and God. In modern life, this reminds us of the importance of seeking reconciliation with God and others when we fall short. Leviticus also highlights the importance of purity in daily life. The Israelites are given specific rules concerning clean and unclean animals, hygiene practices, and what to do when someone is afflicted with skin diseases or other forms of impurity. These laws emphasize God's desire for His people to live in purity and holiness, encouraging us to be mindful of how our actions and choices impact our spiritual and physical well-being. One of the key themes in Leviticus is the concept of holiness. In Leviticus 11:44, God commands, "I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am holy." This command is repeated throughout the book, stressing the idea that God's people must strive for holiness in their lives. This means living in a way that reflects God's character and values, guiding us to live with integrity, kindness, and a desire to honor God in all areas of life. The book also provides guidance on how to handle various moral and social issues. Leviticus 19 contains a series of commandments related to ethical behavior, including loving one's neighbor as oneself. In verse 18, God says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." This principle becomes a cornerstone of Jesus' teachings and is a powerful reminder of the importance of treating others with love, respect, and fairness in our modern world. Leviticus also introduces the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, a yearly event where the high priest would offer sacrifices to atone for the sins of the people. On this day, the people would fast, repent, and seek God's forgiveness. This annual Day of Atonement teaches us the significance of taking time to reflect on our actions, seek forgiveness, and restore our relationship with God, just as we are called to do through Jesus in the New Testament. Another notable aspect of Leviticus is the detailed instructions on the Sabbath year and the year of Jubilee. Every 7th year, the land was to rest, and every 50th year, all land was returned to its original owners. These practices remind us of the importance of rest, the value of community, and the need for justice and fairness in our dealings with others, especially in a world that often prioritizes individual gain over collective well-being. In addition, Leviticus emphasizes the importance of rituals and ceremonies for maintaining a relationship with God, especially through the priesthood. The priests were responsible for leading worship and ensuring that the people followed God's laws. The establishment of a priestly order highlights the role of leadership in guiding people in spiritual matters, reminding us of the importance of good leadership in both spiritual and secular contexts. The book of Leviticus may seem focused on laws and rituals, but at its core it teaches the Israelites and us the importance of living a life of holiness, justice, and community. By following God's commands, the people were meant to reflect God's holiness and bring His presence into every aspect of their lives. In today's world, we are called to live with intentionality, to pursue purity, and to treat others with love and respect, always striving to reflect God's character in everything we do. Here are some direct quotes from Leviticus and how they apply to you. The Lord called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting. He said, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when any of you brings an offering to the Lord, bring as your offering an animal from either the herd or the flock." Leviticus 1:1-2. The Israelites are taught to offer sacrifices to God. In modern life, this reminds us of the importance of giving our best to God, whether it's through our time, resources, or talents, as an act of worship and gratitude. If the offering is a burnt offering from the herd, you are to offer a male without defect. You must present it at the entrance to the tent of meeting so that it will be acceptable to the Lord. Leviticus 1:3. The offering must be without defect, symbolizing the need for purity in our offerings to God. This calls us to live with integrity and purity, offering our best in all areas of life. When anyone brings a grain offering to the Lord, their offering is to be of the finest flour. They are to pour olive oil on it, put incense on it. Leviticus 2 verse 1. The Israelites are instructed to bring the finest offerings. Similarly, we should aim to offer the best of ourselves, whether through our work, relationships, or service to others. The priest shall take a handful of the flour and oil, together with all the incense, and burn this as a memorial portion on the altar, a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Leviticus 2. The act of offering was about pleasing God. In modern terms, our actions should be intentional, done to honor God, whether through our work, kindness, or any service we provide to others. If anyone sins and is unfaithful to the Lord by deceiving a neighbor about something entrusted to them, Leviticus 6:2, God is concerned with how we treat one another. In modern living, this calls us to honesty and integrity in all our dealings, ensuring we keep our promises and respect others' trust. Anyone who takes the Lord's name in vain is to be put to death. Leviticus 24, verse 16. Reverence for God's name is a serious matter. In our lives, this reminds us of the importance of honoring God in everything we say and do, being mindful of how we speak and represent Him. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Leviticus 19:18. God commands love and forgiveness. In modern society, this is a call to practice forgiveness, letting go of grudges and choosing love over retaliation in our relationships. Observe my Sabbaths and have reverence for my sanctuary. I am the Lord. The Sabbath was a day for rest and reverence. In today's fast-paced world, it's important to prioritize rest and reflection, allowing time to reconnect with God and recharge spiritually. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Leave them for the poor and the foreigner. Leviticus 23. God instructs the Israelites to care for the marginalized. This speaks to our responsibility to help those in need, ensuring that our actions contribute to the well-being of others in our community. Do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Leviticus 19:33. God commands kindness to outsiders. In modern living, this calls us to treat everyone with respect, especially those who may be different from us or in vulnerable situations. For 6 years you are to sow your fields, and for 6 years prune your vineyards and gather their crops. But during the 7th year, the land is to have a year of Sabbath rest. Leviticus 25:3-4. The land needs rest every 7 years. This reminds us of the importance of regular rest and renewal in our own lives, balancing work with rest to maintain spiritual and physical health. The Lord said to Moses, "Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am holy. Do not make yourselves unclean by any creature that moves along the ground." Leviticus 11:44. God calls His people to be holy as He is holy. In modern life, this encourages us to pursue lives of purity and holiness, striving to reflect God's character in everything we do. Anyone who has any of the following defects may come near to offer the food of their God. No man who has any defect may come near. Leviticus 21, verse 17. The priests were held to high standards of purity. This highlights the importance of personal holiness and the responsibility to lead by example in our communities. Do not eat any of the blood, because the life is in the blood. Leviticus 17:14. The sanctity of life is emphasized. This teaches us to value life and the sacredness of each person, which translates into living with respect for the lives of others and for all of God's creation. Anyone who steals must make restitution, but if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft. Leviticus 6:4. Restitution is required for wrongdoings. In modern living, this is a reminder that we must make amends when we wrong others, seeking to right our wrongs and make peace where we can. Do not spread slander among your people. Leviticus 19. Gossip and slander are prohibited. This speaks to the importance of speaking kindly and truthfully about others, promoting harmony rather than division through our words. If anyone has a rebellious son who will not obey their father and mother, he is to be put to death. Leviticus 29. the importance of respecting parents and authority is highlighted. In modern terms, this reminds us of the importance of family relationships and respecting authority in our lives, which helps maintain order and respect in society. When you make a vow to the Lord, do not delay to fulfill it. I am the Lord your God. Leviticus 27:2. Vows made to God should be kept. This calls us to be people of our word, fulfilling promises and commitments we make to God and to others. You must not have any other gods before me. Leviticus 23. God demands loyalty and devotion. In today's world, this serves as a reminder to prioritize God above all else, making him the central focus of our lives and decisions. Leviticus outlines God's standards for holiness and purity, focusing on both personal conduct and how we interact with others. By applying these principles, we can strive to live more faithfully, promoting justice, kindness, and integrity in every aspect of our lives.